Okay, let's start the class. Okay, the three purposes, let me use the three purposes to attend this class. Okay, one is, the first purpose is we're going to learn the material, probably not completely covered in the school, but which is required. Different schools and different teachers that teach a different material, basically. Okay, we're using different textbooks. It's not a uniform textbook. And sometimes, especially when you're in the middle school, I see the difference is much larger. Elementary school is better. And you can see that most of the books just called algebra. Okay, actually mathematics involves algebra, geometry, all kinds of things. Okay, second purpose, okay, is to improve your problem solving skill. That's very important. If you just do the homework from the school without additional material, you learn after school, then your problem solving skill will be not improved. Most of the time, the homework problem you get from the school are very direct forward, we say. Just apply the formula and solve the answer, get answers. So I want you to think in the brain. Sometimes you have to spend 5 minutes, sometimes you have to spend 10 minutes to solve some a little bit we call difficult problems. Only when you always train that, then you can do better in other subjects. For example, even physics, chemistry in the future. Okay, so that's the reason SAT, that's an entry exam to the colleges that focus on language and mathematics. All the students must take it if you want to apply for the college. Okay. The third one, it's a little bit difficult right now for me to check. To improve your mathematical expression skill. Many students still don't care about how to write down the solution step by step, just get answers, because most of homework problem you got from the school is just say, here's a space, fill in the answer. Okay, it's not required to show all the details, and there's a reason there, because the teachers probably do not have a time to grade your homework, and so I find out, I'm teaching the college, I find out that many students have this problem, and when they're trying to put the answers on the homework, on quizzes or exams, very hard to read it, their solutions. So that means if the answer is wrong, it's much harder to get partial credits. So this trend is also important, but how to express the answer solutions, give us solutions in neat, complete way, and you can look at my notes, lecture notes in the class. Okay, so if I usually show like 3 steps to some problems, you try to do the same way. Okay, and don't just give me the answer. I will give you the answer to all the problems I give to you. Okay, so you don't need to just put the answer there. If we meet someday, you come to my classroom maybe when everything's okay, then just if you turn in the homework just with answers, I will return back to you. Okay, so you must show all the details on separate paper. Your parents will print out my homework assignment to you, just only 1 page, but don't just put answer to the problem, next to the problem. You have to work on a separate paper, a notebook or whatever, and show all the details. And after then, you check the answers, and you find out some answer is wrong, and then you redo the problems, maybe just careless, and you still couldn't solve the problem. And for this lesson, for this course, your parents should be able to help you to solve it, and you can work together with your parents, okay, until you completely understand all the problems, and then you can make a progress. Okay. That's what I want to say. Okay, and try to complete the homework before the next class. Don't just say only 1 hour left, and in the morning, like before this class, and trying to do the homework, you're not able to finish. Okay, you can do a few problems on Monday, then another 3 problems on Thursday. Okay. All right, so this course, what I'm trying to do is, most of you are 4th grade. I started this course last August, okay? And I do have the same number of students, about 10 students in that class. They already completed, I think they complete almost 26 lessons, okay? And if possible, we are not going to cover all the lessons, and most of them in the summer, through the summer. If that way, then we're going to move on to attend the basic math class, okay? And that was designed for the 5th grade, 6th grade student, okay? Now, let's begin my lesson, okay? So we are, for this lesson, we're trying to find the patterns in a sequence. Okay, this might be easy for some students, I'm not sure. So let's begin with the first problem. So you are given a sequence of numbers, such like 1, 4, 7, 10, but that's one number is missing, okay? One number is missing, and we're trying to figure out that particular number, okay? Now, when you look at the sequence of those numbers, okay, you're trying to figure out how do we get the next one each time. We find out this sequence of numbers, we call the arithmetic sequence, it's increased by 3, always, okay? In other words, the difference of the 2 consecutive numbers is always 3. So 7 minus 4 is 3. So 10 minus 7 is 3. So this next number minus 10 should be 3. So that number should be 10 plus 3 and 13. Okay. So that's how do you get it, right? Now, but the relationship is not always like the difference is constant. Here's the difference is always constant. The difference of 2 consecutive numbers is always constant, 3, 3, 3, 3, right? But could be different operations. You generate the next number, right? In mathematics, we have subtraction, addition, multiplication, division, right? So do not just focus on subtraction. So the second problem is 2, 4, 8, 16, and the next problem, right? So when you look at this sequence, right, you see that if you just look at the difference, and then the difference will be different, okay? It is going to be, just 2, 4 minus 2 is 2, 8 minus 4 is 4. So it's not constant. So you should change a different way to look at it. You find out the obvious is the next problem is double the first one. So the previous one. So you have to double. So the next one is going to be 16 times 2, and that is going to be 32. Okay, that would be 32. Got it? Yeah, 32, not 18, Kevin, right? So first time we got 18. So it's not like 82. Okay, so multiply by 2. So you have to think of multiplication. Okay. Yeah, let's go back to the next problem. 2, 6, 18, the next one, and the 162. So there's a number missing in this sequence. Okay. Yeah, look at this sequence of numbers. Think about the possible operations you can use: multiplication, addition, right? Subtraction, and division. Okay. Well, I think the number increased pretty fast. So it's not like addition, subtraction you can use here, right? So from 2 to 6, from 6 to 8, immediately you will jump to, oh, maybe multiply by 3, right? So you try this. You find out, yes, 3 times 6 is 18, and double check that also, okay? Sometimes there's another way to get a certain number, but you can use the 162 to double check, okay? So 18 times 3, that number is going to be, right, 54. Then you double check, okay? If 54 times 3, whether you get 162, the answer is yes. So then that missing number should be 54. That missing number should be 54, okay? Okay. All right, that's easy, right? Okay, so now you are given another sequence. Let's try to find out the missing number. I will let you to try. Now, when you get a problem when doing homework, maybe within half a minute, you have no idea. You try the different, because sometimes the problem is completely new problem, new type of problem. Don't give up, okay? And you have to think of all the possible ways to do, right? And maybe you figure it out quickly, and you will be very happy. Okay. Sometimes you feel very happy, high, you know, when you solve math problems. Okay. Well, great. There are many students give me the answers already. So I tried a different way, right? It's increased slowly, not very fast here. So I'm going to take a difference. I get a 1. Then I get 2. Oops, it's not constant. But let's continue. Right? Then 3. Oh, 1, 2, 3. That's great. Then the next problem is we don't know, right? Yeah. And then 16 minus this also we don't know. But 36 minus 16. Sorry, this is a typed wrong. Okay, 22. Otherwise, there's no pattern here at all. Okay, so this is gonna be 6. And then this is called a secondary sequence. You generate another sequence from here using difference. Okay. And then you see that 1, 2, 3, okay, 4, 5, 6. You figured out this, right? That's possible. Then you try, okay? Then which number gives it, right? This number is going to, it's going to 11. Yeah, if you put the 11 there, then perfect, right? Yeah. So they solved it. So it's not always the difference of 2 consecutive numbers is constant. It's possible you get another, yeah, it's possible you get another sequence of numbers, okay? And in its obvious pattern, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's a possibility, yeah. Okay, so you can figure out this original sequence using another sequence you generate, right? Right. So now we are going to look at the next one. 10, 11, 13, 16, 20, this number. Okay, so let's see. What do we get here? Okay. So obvious 25, right? Says that. Obvious 25. How do you do that? You know, you can mark like that. 10 from 10 to 11, it's plus 1. From 11 to 13, you plus 2. From 13 to 16, plus 3. then plus 4, then plus 5. So the answer will be 25. Okay, the answer will be 25. Now the next one is brand new problem. Okay, 23, 4, 20, 6, 7, 8, parentheses, 11, 12. Now, this does not, this is pretty strange, right? It's harder for when you someday design computer, the computer probably can help you quickly figure out these two numbers, okay? But you can use a brain, okay? It'll focus on those sequence of numbers, right? And maybe you can figure it out. Okay, look at this sequence. The number changes strangely. Up, down, right? Larger, small, larger, small, larger, small, right? Eventually, okay, not eventually, 7 steps later, you find out those two numbers pretty close to each other, 11, 12. Right? All right, so Julian, give me the answer. Kevin also, Derek, good. All right, so when you look at this, right, if you should focus on those larger numbers, okay, and then if you realize that you have actually it's two sequences mixed up in this alternatively, then you can figure out the missing numbers in the parentheses, because from 23 to 20, you minus 3, minus 3, minus 3. So that number should be 17 minus 3 is going to be 14. Then how about from 4 to 6 to 8? You always add the 2. So that number is going to be 8 plus 2, which is 10. So that's how you get 14 and 10. Did you get? Yeah. How do I see that? I think you already see that. Have seen that, right? Because the numbers like up, down, that's the reason you just focus on, you pay attention, just look at all those larger numbers first, then all those small numbers first. Then you immediately recognize the pattern, how that changes the numbers from 4 to 6 to 8. The next one should be 10. But then you can double check in how to get 12. 10 plus 2, you get 12, right? And 14 minus 3, you get 11. So the last two numbers are just for you to use to double check your conjecture, okay? Okay. And similarly, you can do the next problem. I want you to do this. It's going to be 2, 9, 6, 10, 18, 11, 54, and so on. Okay. So you have two sequence. You have one sequence of numbers. It looks pretty strange, right? 2, 9, large, small, right? 2, 9, 6, 18, 54. Okay. So when it's not like always increase, always decreasing, then you have to think of possibly was two sequences messed up, mixed up. Okay. Yeah. All right, great. So you see that from 2 to 6, from 6 to 18, and 54, and that number, right? So every time it's increased by, you multiply by 3, multiply by 3, multiply by 3, multiply by 3. So it's going to be, that number is going to be 54 times 3 is going to be 162. And from 6 to 10, 10 to 11, and to that number, right? So you just add the 1. So 11 plus 1 is going to be 12. Okay, you have to mark plus 1, plus 1, plus 1. So that is easy, right? So you, as long as you know how to do the last problem. Now I'm going to give you a completely new problems. Okay, and it's a strange way. Okay, so it's 1. 1. What happens? It's still 1, right? It's 2. I'm not going to give it 2 again. Okay, 2, 3. Okay, 5, 8, 13. This 34, 55. Wow, it increased pretty fast then. At the very beginning, it's very slow. Okay, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. Okay, some of you maybe made this kind of problems before. All right, so you got answers. Okay, so let's see. How do you get, you say, how do you get second? Well, I have no idea, right? From 1 to 1, nothing's changed. But from 1 to 2, okay, still it's not easy to figure out pattern. But from 2 to 3, then from 3 to 5. Then I think from 3 to 5, you probably can see that this gives you, add them together, you give you 5, right? And then 5 and 3 and the 5 gives you 8. So then after you look at the 4th, 5th, 6th numbers, you can figure out, okay, what you're doing here is 1 plus 1 equals 2. 1 plus 2 equals 3. The sum of the two previous terms, 2 plus 3 equals 5, and 3 plus 5 equals 8. Then 5 plus 8 equals 13. Then 8, okay, plus 13 should be 21. So that would be the answer. Now you also have to double check. Maybe there's another hidden rule there. So 13 plus 21 is going to be 34. That's okay. Okay. Then and the 21 plus 34, that is going to be 55. It's okay. So now it's 100% sure this should be the number 21. Okay. All right, great. Okay, our next problem, 1, 3, 6, 8, 16, 18, number, and missing number, 76 and 78. Okay, so let's figure out the missing numbers. All right, what do you got? Okay, so the answer will be 36, 38. I'm very happy to see you gave me the answer here. So look at this, right? The number is increasing clearly, but does not look like we call it arithmetic sequence because it's increased it's different way. Okay, if I try the difference, I don't see, I try this first. Okay, 6 minus 3 is going to be 3. 8 minus 6 is going to be 2. Then 16 minus 8 is jump to 8. So I get a strange sequence. It's not, it does not work. Okay, and you try the division simple operation, does not work. So this is not working. Then you trying to see the alternating. That's still not working. Okay, so that is a problem. Okay, that is a problem. So all the other methods we already used does not work. Okay. Yeah. Then you see from then you look at this. How does that change? Okay. You see that from 1 to 3, okay, from 6 to 8, from 16 to 18, that's always just add 2. Okay. Then from 3 to 6, from 8 to 16, it's actually multiplied by 2. If that is true, then you get 32 here. Okay. Then you add it to 34. Hold on. 36, yeah. 36 and 38. Okay, don't write down the screen because otherwise I'm gonna move that to your number stay there. Okay, thank you. Yeah. And then you double check 76, 78, then it works. See, this is a pretty new, it's different from, so we called alternating operations applying to the sequence. Okay, not the alternating sequence messed up, 2 sequences messed up alternatively. No, actually we applying the operation. Operation means addition, multiplication, subtraction, division, alternatively. First time you use a plus 2, then multiply by 2, maybe multiply by 3. Okay, but here multiply 2, then plus 2 multiply by 2, plus 2 multiply by 2. And it's harder to tell how do I figure it out. You look at those numbers, use your brain. The brain is much better than anything else. Okay, it's hard to tell how do you figure it out. You just look at all the numbers and the brain does the calculation. Okay, then you find out the links, find out the pattern. So after you train yourself this way, then your brain is getting better. Okay, will be not rusted. Okay, so the problems we are getting right now is more challenging. Okay, and the next problem is going to be 0, 1, 3, 8, 21, and then next problem. Okay, and then 144. Let me show you this problem. Okay, why this is a challenge. Okay, you try this, still try the difference, right? You try the difference, you find out it's not working. Okay, 3 minus 1, that's 2. Okay, and 8 minus 3, that is 5. And the 21 minus 8, that's 13. Okay. Yes. So I don't see any patterns here from 1 to 5 to 13. Okay. So this is a bad idea to do that. Okay. Okay, so actually, yeah, this is a very difficult problem, honestly. Okay, actually, what they did is how to get the next number. The next number actually is the previous number multiplied by uh, by uh, uh, by 3. Then you have to keep subtracting the numbers. Okay, let me show you. Okay, so for example, 3 is a 3 times 1 minus 0. So that means 3 times that number, the previous number, and subtract the number previous to that number. Okay, so this is a 0 where we're from, and this is a 1. And the same here, 8 is going to be 3 times 3 minus 1. Okay, so 1, yeah, where is this 3 from? This 3 comes from here. Okay, so 21 will be 3 times 8 minus 3. Okay, so that's why 21. And then that number should be 3 plus 21 minus 8, which is going to be, which is going to be, you can do the calculation. Okay, so it will be 63 minus 8, 55. Okay, and then you can double check 144. Now this is not easy to figure out. Okay, text. Yeah, this is not easy to figure out, honestly. Okay, so there, this you have to figure out how does that generate the next number. Okay, using certain formula, that's a hidden formula. We have to figure it out, right? At the very beginning, you know, you thought maybe multiply by 3 almost, right? So I think this is a very challenging problem. It's not easy to get. Okay. Okay. So we probably don't want to spend too much time on this two difficult problems. Now we are going to look at a different type of problems. We have instead of one number, we get a pair of numbers. Okay, then the next one will be 79, and I don't know what is number in the missing here. Okay, so here we are given a pair of numbers. Okay, we are going to get a pair of numbers, and we're trying to figure out the missing number. We're trying to figure out the missing number. Okay. Yeah, you think about this, okay? So what do you got? 69. All right. Let me look at this pair of numbers. Okay. I think they're too close, right? That means I have to look at the difference. Okay. So that would be the difference will be 4. Okay. Then the 97 minus 88, I get a 9. Then 91 minus 75, I get 16. Then you should realize that, okay, you get a sequence of perfect squares. So this should be 25. Right? This should be 25. Therefore, that missing number is 79 plus 25, minus 25. That is going to be 54. Okay, 54 is the answer. Okay, good. You see, you know, sometimes you have to compare two pairs of numbers. Sometimes you just compare the two numbers within inside the pair. Okay, so in this case, we just compare two numbers with, yeah, it's inside, yeah, the parenthesis. Then you just, the only thing you can do right now, just take a difference. If the difference doesn't work, you actually add them together. Maybe you get another new sequence, right? Division is a bad idea here. No, don't get integers. Multiplication, no. So probably if the subtraction doesn't work, you don't get a nice sequence of numbers. Then you add the two numbers together to see if you get a nice sequence. Okay, since here are very large numbers, probably subtraction is better. So that's why I begin with the subtraction. That's the usual way. I use the subtraction. Then I get 4, 9. 4 and 9 still don't have an idea. When I get 16, then I should realize that I'm going to get a sequence of perfect numbers. All right, so now you have another sequence of numbers. Okay, so let's figure out the pattern. Okay. Wow, Demi, right? Demi, Katie, you did it fast. You did it so fast. Kevin Lee. Okay. Marvin, maybe you got a hint before, right? You look at each pair of numbers, right? 6, 9, 7, 8, 10, 15. What's inside, right? If you take a difference, you get strange differences. I don't see any pattern. So, but you should know your brain, there's so many cells there. And sometimes you can quickly realize that, oh, add them together. You get 15. 7 plus 8 is 15. 10 plus 5 is 15. Then that number is also should be, add them together should be 15. So the number is going to be 2. Okay. All right, so now let's look at the next one. 1, 24, 2, 12, 3, 8, 4 of that number. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you have to quickly in brain to go through all the possible operations you can use: subtraction, multiplication, division, right? Addition. I think multiplication is perfect now. Okay, perfect choice. So it's 24. 2 plus 12 is also 24. 3 times 8, sorry, 24. Yeah, 2 times 12 is 24. Then 4 times some number is going to be 24. The number should be 6. All right. One more problems. This type: 18, 17, 14, 10, 10, 1, and the mom. Okay, so let's do this. Okay. Well, add them together or subtraction. So some of you already gave me answer. 21. Good. So fast. Great. Okay. So 18 minus 17 equals 1. This time I try difference. Then the 4. Then the 10 minus 1 is going to be 9. Wow. It looks like a perfect square, right? It's going to be 16. This next number should be 16. The secondary sequence give you a very nice pattern. There's nice pattern there. They're all perfect squares. So that number should be equal 16 plus 5 and 21. Wow, okay. All right, that's okay now. Now we are going to work on totally different type of problems. Okay, we have a table of numbers, 12, 18, 6, 8, 15, 7, 4, and 8. And that's number there, but it's erased by a student. And when you look at this table of numbers, can you figure out the missing number? Yeah, quickly, right? Wow. So everybody gave me the answer. Great. So when you look at this, right, look at the horizontal lines, right? You will see that 12 plus 6 is going to be 18. That's the number. 8 plus 7 is going to be 15. So I'm pretty sure this should be 12. Okay? Now sometimes you have to look at the column instead of rows. Okay? If you look at the column, probably there's no pattern here. Okay? So the last column 6, 7, 8. The first column 12, 8, 4. Then what is middle, right? It's increase, decrease. And there's some, well, slight different, right? So look at from here to here, right? You add decrease by 4. And this time decreased by the middle row column decreased by 3. Okay? But the last column is actually increased by 1. So, yeah. So it's harder to it's not easy to be convinced that number should be 12, missing number. Okay? So let's take a look at the next problem. Okay. Yeah. We also have a missing number here. 4, 11, 9, 4, 24, 7, 35, and 30. Whoa. Okay. 4, 11, 9, 6, 24. I think this is difficult, honestly. But my hint is to look at the columns. Look at the rows, okay? Each row. Yeah. Yeah, let's try this, right? Well, this is 13. 6 plus something, I don't know. 7 plus 30 equals 35. Not 30 is 37, not 35. Yeah, the answer is 20. 20. Okay. Okay, the answer is 20. So you don't get 11. Yeah, but you know, you were maybe at the very beginning, you're disappointed, right? But you compare with this, you know, compare with 11, compare with 35. Then you find out, there's a 2 difference, right? The difference 2. So decrease by 2, then you should get 24, you should get 35, you should get 11. So my number is going to be, this number should be 26. Okay, that's why the answer should be 20. Okay, this should be 26 and this number should be 20. Okay. All right, so that is difficult, honestly, and we see a different type of problems, right? Yeah, number 17. Okay, this is actually 2-dimensional problems. You see, when at the beginning we have 1 dimension, right? 1 dimension, just only 1 line. So you go from left to the right, you see a sequence of numbers. Now your brain has to focus on the 2. It's called a matrix. 3 by 3 numbers. Okay, so there are total actually 9 numbers here, and you have much harder to handle it. Okay. So now I have 1 number is missing. Okay. I'll give you 1 hint. Okay, after the first student give me the answer. Yeah, when you look at, you know, row by row, okay, let's see what you can get. Am I getting the same answer? All right, so look at the sum of all these numbers. What do you get? You get 30. Okay, and you look at all the numbers here going this way. 8 plus 10 plus, it's also 30, right? Right, add them together. And 5 plus 9 plus 16, it's also 30, right? So this is 30. 10 plus 11 plus 9 equals 30. Right, this is a very special matrix. The sum of the numbers on each row have the same result. They're all 30. Okay, so this is a very important matrix. Someday, when you study advanced mathematics, and there was some kind of matrix that have properties like the sum of all the numbers in each row will be the same number. Okay, so then this is 12 plus that particular number, it's going to be 30. So that number should be equal to 2. Okay, and there's the same here. If you add them together, it's also 30. It's very strange. And maybe you can create another one, but that is a nice matrix. Okay, 8, 17, 5, 10, 11, 9, 12, 2, 16. Okay, this is a nice pattern. Okay. All right, so now now we are working on the circle problems. 5, 6, 12. And now it's a two-dimensional, also one dimension. It's a sequence, but I have several pictures. And that number is missing. Okay. So actually, this is called three-dimensional problem. And each picture, the two-dimension problem. And then you have a sequence, another sequence. So add one more dimension, so three-dimensional. I can draw it in the space, like one by one. I can draw like that. This is one, that's another one, that's another one. It's like layered together. Okay. Then I have numbers there, numbers there, and then the missing number. Okay. All right. So they're not only just relationship among those three numbers. They also, you have to also pay attention how the numbers changes. Okay, from one disk to the next disk. Yeah, the last few minutes we're always talking about a little bit challenging problems. Okay. Oops. What happens? Sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know what happens. Disconnect. Okay. Are you done with the problem?
No problem.
Right. So let's see. 5, 12, 6. And I find out then 428. Okay. And 830. 830. Right. So that's the relationship between them, right? So 5, 12 times 5, you get 60. Well, still not 6. That's fine. 20 times 4 is 80. Huh. So just actually it's more 6 multiplied by 10. 8, I can begin with a 60, 80, put there. Probably much easier for you to figure it out, but I delete a 0. So 30 times 8 is 240. Then okay, then the files disappeared again. So I don't know what's happening. Okay, so my software problem. All right, so So 30 times 8 is going to 240. So that answer should be 24. Yeah.
It does happen again.
I know this is my software problem. I'm trying to figure out how can I do that.
Did we just in class?
Okay. All right, so we are almost done. So let's do the next problem. Yeah. Okay. Our next problem is, one more problem. 9, 36, 12. Sorry, now it's a really problem with my.
Can we do division? I want to screen share.
Yeah, I have a trouble with
Software.
okay, 9, 6, 3, 6, 9. The next one is a 5, 12, 30. Can you write on that? And then 10, 3, and the missing numbers. Yeah, let's finish the last problem. And I think I have to restart my computer.
I don't have paper to write on.
Next time you have to prepare paper when you take a.
Okay.
All right, so let's figure out the missing number. All right, so take a look at this, the numbers in each circle. Okay, you will see that 3, you can try like a 3 plus 6 equals 9, but 5 plus 12 is not getting 30. So you cannot use addition. Okay, and you cannot use a division, right? You look at the 3 numbers. Yeah, it's hard to use a division. You try, but you have to apply the same rule to each circle. Yeah, I'm going to use a multiplication. So 6 times 3 equals 18. And 12 times 5, right, is going to be 60. Then 1860 compared with the number 9, I find out just double that number. So
Times 2.
yeah, 30 times 10 is going to be 30. So that number should be 15. Then you can get the answer. Okay. So
Wow.
I can, yeah. So that's all for today's class, because anyway, my computer have a problem with it. Right? So you will
I want to screen share.
yeah. So you are going to get a homework, and you're trying to finish it, within 1 week. If you feel good about that, and you can continue. Okay. Bye-bye. Yeah.
Hey!
request. Avery, I requested you for remote control. Give me it.